Hello, everyone, and welcome to the debut edition of Behind the Curtain. And I am your host, Jason Rumble. And I have with me Vinny, the Great Gazoo CaPelli,
It's
and the
actually
founder.
G-A-Zoo. Yeah, let me talk to you.
Okay. And Jimmy effing Fingers Bay. All right. So, fellas, it's been a while, or as they say nowadays, those of you who have young kids, it's been a minute, but I've never understood that because if it's been a long time, it's been longer than a minute.
Yes, sir.
So, we are on the eve of Money in the Bank, and it's been a very interesting wrestling period since the last time we have convened. I believe it's been a while. Some things have gone on, and it's definitely been since my AEW challenge to Mr. Jimmy Fingers. And just to put this out right now, the whole $100 bet was the whole thing of the fact that you promoted the worst homophobic sexual scene out there known to man. And you always want to say like this, that, and the other. So I just had to put it out there.
Jason, I am going to pay you $100.
No, I don't.
I believe me, I will be happy to be wrong and be happy to pay you. And
but the thing is, do you know that they've actually shut? I wanted to get into this. This is where I wanted to start off. That from what I'm told, they shut tickets off or seating off at 68,500.
Why?
I have no clue. And right now, almost 67,000 tickets have been sold. So reaching the 75,000 seat capacity, which I believe after their last pay-per-view, the Forbidden Door, and it being in Europe, I believe that they would have had the chance of the 75,000. And I go at it again. I believe it's a novelty. And European wrestling fans, just like Japanese wrestling fans, they're different than the American wrestling culture, where we are picky, and that's the one reason why I believe that they were going to do very well is because it's the first time, and you want to be enamored with saying, wow, I was at the first ever AEW show and not being in the United States. Like I said, a foreign country is a different thing. Look at how foreigners travel over here for WrestleMania and other shows of that nature, that it's now become a spectacle and a weekend all on its own. So pro wrestling, it really does sell.
Why would they cap it off, though? Because the card isn't fully announced yet.
Nope.
And you can see a Goldberg added to it somehow as a sale. And we don't know if the Elite and Punk and FDR will do business, but if they do, wouldn't that be an easy extra 8,000 sales?
What I read on a few different places was the way that they have it mapped out, and already had it mapped out with the staging and this and the other. It was mapped out for 68,500 out of the 100,000 seat venue. Whether or not they can adjust around that, I'm sure that money talks. Well, as we know, what do you think there, Mr. Gazoo? Yeah!
It's G-A-Zoo. Get it right.
G-A-Zoo. Yeah!
I'm going to put it to you this way. Can I ask what the bet was?
75,000.
How many?
75. I originally had said I guarantee they would get between 50 and 75, and then I stuck with the 75 after I seen.
You ready? Let me talk to you. Two things I see here. Number one, let's put it right out where it is. It's probably got something to do with the max number that they can have for the venue that they anticipated. So if they capped out at 68.5, then that's probably what the deal was for them to sell tickets. There is something, same as like any venue that we have at, like say here in Boston or wherever, when these shows come in, like even the Boston Garden, they cap them off at a certain amount because of whatever stage hands, whatever it might be. So there's very much a potential chance, and I don't know if this is accurate, but maybe the max they could have there, including stage, including tickets, was to sell 68,500 tickets. I don't know. Maybe that's why it's capped. But the second part of this is this. If you, Jason Rumble, bet and said 75,000 and you do not obtain that number, regardless of whatever reasons stop it from getting to that number, you, my friend, lose the bet. Fear is fear. You put your money on the line. You said 75,000. You have to reach 75,000. Then you become the winner. If not, regardless, Jimmy effing Fingers can go $100, baby. Let's be fair.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Well, hopefully they take the cap off. But right now they're at 67.
You're on $100, my friend.
Yeah, or I'll send them a nice Nike Tom Brady jersey that's never been worn.
Anyways,
with the field tag still on it.
Anyways, there's also such a thing as pay-per-view buy rates. I mean, I don't know. I know there's a lot of things that could be going into that. Regardless, you brought up a couple things. I mean, yeah, you don't know if Punk and the Elite and
I want to know what your thoughts about the CM Punk return was, and I'm gonna say, and I will say this: I'm not saying that I said it was a work from the get-go, but I was one of the ones that's, oh man, where did he go? That when this first came out and this first happened.
You did, Jay. You did.
I don't know what
Mr.
happened.
It's all right. I just want to tell you, Forbes and Mr. Sticky Fingers just backed me on this. When this first transpired, I said there's something that just doesn't smell right. Okay, and what I mean by that, and I'm gonna get into the generational thing.
You brought this up to me, Jay. We talked about this, but go ahead.
We're in a different generation nowadays, and Punk's a different dude. Punk's sort of in the old school generation to a certain extent. You know what I mean? He was around them old schoolers. Guys like Omega, the Bucks, they were never around that old school atmosphere, and they got a lot of listen, they got a lot of indie attitude where they just realistically, they can't keep their mouths shut, and when they do say something, they run the other way. And I don't believe, I don't believe that they had, but I think that they should have just let whatever was going on go on, and that should have been that, man. Right. Mind your own business. If you got nothing to do with it, you shouldn't be opening your mouth.
All right. Well, you forget one thing. They made a name for themselves, a very Omega and the Bucks.
I know that.
Let me finish. They made a name for themselves and they were not just indie darlings, they were Japan darlings. And in Japan, that shit don't fly. So I disagree with you saying that they are whatever. I more specifically Kenny Omega over The Bucks. The Bucks are your prototypical probably millennials, right? Kenny Omega was a bigger star in Japan before, and obviously here, but
Yep.
huge star in Japan. And they do not play those games. I disagree with you. That has nothing to do with it. I don't buy into that kind of, the Bucks this and the Kenny Omega this thing, and because a generational thing. No, they were brought up in Japan. They wrestled. They made names for themselves in Japan.
I will not disagree to that.
There's no such thing as a generational thing in Japan.
I won't disagree with that.
I disagree. Now the Bucks maybe more so, but not Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I don't include Kenny in the same light as the Bucks in this situation. Was the Bucks
Meltzer and telling him, hey, Punk got Cabana fired? Like, that's kind of like a heavy charge. I don't believe Punk had anything to do with that.
And let me tell you something. CM Punk and Colt Cabana had long history prior to this.
Listen, that's all I'm just going to say this. I know what you mean about the whole Japanese thing. I'm not saying that. I have no disagreement on the history, the way it was brought up. But I'm going to tell you this one thing. I know this is before Kenny Omega was a big star, but I know Kenny Omega. I have dealt with the Bucks with trying to book them for not only myself, but for Pat Dillon before they were Japanese stars. So can they change when they go to Japan and learn the right way? Absolutely, I'm going to agree with that. Okay? What I'm just saying is the business that happened between Punk and Cabana should honestly be left between those two. It had nothing. It's not affecting the Bucks' lives. It's not affecting Kenny Omega's life.
You're missing the point of how this all went down. This really doesn't really revolve around Colt Cabana.
It had to do.
Hold on. It's more about how Punk handled business with Adam Page.
Adam Page, yes.
It has nothing to do with Cabana. Cabana was an afterthought.
Yeah.
Kind of more of just thrown in.
I was about to say the whole thing was the whole interview with Adam Page. Yes, that's that. But then again, that should take place between Adam Page and CM Punk.
What went between Page and Punk was the insinuation about Cabana. Cabana had nothing to do with this, but it was the insinuation that was, went into an off-script
promo. Back in 2 seconds. I gotta run upstairs. I'll be right back.
Yep.
So that's obviously where it started, and then if you read Punk's statement when he came out finally to talk about it, was that during their match he didn't know if Page was shooting on him or what, because he took 2 chops in the teeth, and Page is a vet enough to know where to put those chops. But
absolutely,
and a lot of it fell on Tony. So I do think that the beef was just legit, like just the inmates running the asylum clearly, but Tony Khan doesn't have the balls to clamp down on that, so we just let it grow to what it became. And now it's over with. And Punk, I was against Punk on this, but now I side with him because I do believe he tried to make amends. And now it's like, yeah, you can't talk to him. Got to go through the lawyers. And it's just like, why can't men just be men?
Yeah, listen, absolutely. I don't think CM Punk wanted to come into a foreign lock. I don't think from the get-go that Punk was looking to come into a foreign locker room after not being around wrestling for, what was it, 7-8 years?
Yep.
And especially it not being a WWE locker room, but being around a locker room that he's never hardly been around a lot of these dudes. So, yeah, I don't think he would want to ruffle anybody's feathers.
Yeah, but don't you think that there's resentment for the money that he makes when he didn't start the business, like from that side, like
from the financial competitive.
I'll
Dude,
say
you
this.
know-
I'll say this on that. If that is an issue, that there is resentment about money, shame on the Bucks and shame on anybody else, because that's this business.
Yep.
Listen,
And
when you're
I'll
a
put it to you this way.
you make money.
Absolutely right. But not only that, but you go from being just one of the boys to being an executive vice president of a legit company backed by a billionaire. So you became an owner of a company just because of who you were, not because of what was in your bank account, which is an amazing thing all in itself. So like, hey, but that's the world of entertainment itself. You'd very rarely get other people that are prideful on things that happen for other people.
Yeah, no.
What
Because
other,
you're in the entertainment business.
Let me
What
let me
other-
just go ahead.
Jake.
Go, you go.
What other at that time would have been the most highest sought after free agent in the wrestling business at that time? It was Punk. 7-year absence. They had to pay for it, and for their business, the Bucks should realize that it's just better for the overall business of the company.
Absolutely. They're going to make more
Let me
money.
just put it to you this way. I am not a fan of the Bucks. Never been a fan of the Bucks. The only thing I've ever liked was when they were in Ring of Honor, New Japan, and they were doing the All Elite videos, and they were fun to watch.
Yeah.
It kind of gave you an in-depth, like a new vision of the indies. But let's be honest, the Bucks never made it to WWE. They never would have survived in WWE. They would have, I hate to say it, they would have wound up like friggin' every other tag team in the WWE. They would have been made a joke of, and they probably would have been gone by now, or they would have been NXT darlings. And to be quite honest with you, you know, the more I watch Kenny Omega, the more I realize he's wasting his time in AEW. He could come to WWE, become like AJ Styles. AJ saw the vision and said, make more money, wrestle for 7 to 10 minutes instead of 25, 30-minute matches, have a longer career, make way more money, and probably enjoy it more. And you know what? That's their own fault. But, you know, I think it's, for me, it seems like Cody Rhodes smelled, not only saw, smelled the writing on the wall and said, I'm the fuck out of here. And said, I gave you my money. I'm out of here. I'm going back to where it matters. This is turning into a shit show. Who looks the smarter of the group? Cody or the Bucks and Omega?
Cody.
Cody.
However, like you said, no. Omega is up in what, 2024?
Think so.
Yeah, he would be foolish not to go make a run at it. Bucks, I don't think would survive there.
I don't think the WWE wants the Bucks. The only way the Bucks are getting there is if Cody can pull strings.
I think if they did something with the tag, like there's one team that I would definitely want to see the Young Bucks go against, and that would be the Usos.
Yeah.
And I would want to see the Bucks against the Viking Raiders.
You've already seen it, though. You saw it when it really mattered. When it was War Machine versus the Bucks.
And I think if you can get this with psychology, I think the WWE crowd would really enjoy this. I think the WWE crowd would enjoy that pretty handsome or whatever, pretty sexy or whoever the hell they are there.
It's that is a Vince gimmick written all over it, dude. That is terrible.
That's their own gimmick, man. That's really not.
It's been done 25 times over, though.
Yeah, but can I tell you something?
Jesus
What's
Christ,
old is new.
That's Adrian Adonis, 25 years ago.
But instead this year, but instead, CaPelli, the whole difference is this time it's really real.
What's really real?
Them two.
Oh, it doesn't matter. That's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between it. That them two are legit and others were posers when it came to the fucking to the gimmick. That's what changes it. And you got to, and to not tell you, it might be to you who is, how old are you?
Yeah, what about it?
Okay, they're not trying to sell that
I'm the
gimmick.
youngest of the three here.
I don't care. You still watched all of that style of wrestling.
I know I did.
So people are watching, like my son's never seen that. He don't know who the hell they are. He watches WWE. Anybody that's at least 15 to
Did he watch what were you guys called? The Dangerous Darlings or the Rumble Darlings? You and Damon when you guys did your flamboyant.
no, it was oh man, the Crown Jewels.
There was a Crown Jewel.
And we're the longest reigning NECW tag team champions of all time.
You know what I mean?
Anthony Bowen is out. You know what I mean? Did you hear the "He's Gay" chant? That was a positive one.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
No, I know AEW is the first company that actually promotes their wrestlers to that, where the WWE hides from it, other than Shayna Baszler.
Right.
Not Shayna Baszler.
Wait, who?
What's her name?
What are
Not
you talking
Shayna
about?
Baszler. The WWE.
No,
No.
Sonya Deville's been out in public about
That's
it.
what I meant to say.
Sonya.
I meant to say Sonya Deville is the one person.
AEW is not the first company to promote her.
Well, no, they
Sonya
highlight.
came right out and supported it.
They highlight all of their gay and transsexual wrestlers.
Yeah, because they feed to the masses.
Yes.
They feed to the agenda machine. They
Yep.
sell to the millennials and to the woke.
Yeah.
Anyways, can we
Nyla Rose
get
is
away
on
from
that list.
AEW because I'm falling asleep even thinking about AEW.
I beg to differ. I thought
I want to say this real quick before we move on to whatever. I am liking the MJF Adam Cole gimmick storyline, how they're kind of trying to make it real. That's AEW's thing. Let's make it real. Let's make it.
Can they coexist?
Let's make it. All that stuff. It's been done before, but I think those two have good chemistry together. I loved the 30-minute time match ending. We have not seen that in 35 years.
Yep.
I was watching those final seconds, man, and I was like, "Are they gonna make it? Are they gonna make it?" And they did. Right on time. And what I loved about that ending, Gazoo, was give me 5 more minutes, and then MJF takes the powder. Perfect heel work.
So
great heel heat, good ending, good finish.
I had no clue it was a 30-minute time limit. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Do you remember TV limit, 10-minute TV time draw?
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
But
I just remember watching those, the 10-minute time limit. Oh, you're like, no!
So then...
Don Anderson won more matches that way.
Yeah,
when he was
they got a lot of people with it. And
thing is, did you watch the Forbidden Door pay-per-view?
I did.
What did you think?
I thought it was too long, and I thought there were about 3 or 4 matches that shouldn't have been on. But I thought it was, like, for me, great matches. Okay,
yeah, me too.
But there's no stories. Like
that's what it's meant to be. That's where I just want to end it. And I said this to Gazoo the other night. AEW, if you're looking for story TV style wrestling, you're not going to get it there. Okay, number one. I think what AEW is trying to bring to you is they're trying to bring you story just through the two guys that are in the ring that are showing their all-out competitiveness going out against each other. And they're hoping that the wrestling fan that's tuning in to watching knows the background, so to speak.
Yeah,
and yeah, I know
stories building.
I understand that they do have stories going, but I believe the one main factor that realistically, when it push comes to shove, what they try to do, they're not trying to make TV like the WWE. The WWE makes TV, point blank. That's what they do. They make TV. When you go to a premium live event, they make TV at that premium live event, but they stretch the match out.
Did you?
Two different styles.
Gazoo, did you watch Collision? First,
First Collision was excellent.
fantastic. I don't care what the ratings were. That show was not booked by Tony Khan.
No, Daniel Bryan is helping do that show.
That was a meat and potatoes. No Dan Garcias or Wheeler Yutas on there. It was just like Andrade and Buddy Matthews crushed it, and then you had a good attack at the end. Punk, hey, you know what, man? He's never going to move like he used to, man, but he is a lightning rod, and he's still got the pops. Now he's got the Cena thing going. 50-50 boos, 50-50 cheers. He's got heel.
You didn't? Have you watched Collision at all there, Mr. Gazoo?
No.
Nope. You're not. So, see,
you'd like it, Gazoo. It's not nothing like Dynamite.
I said that.
I hop on, you know, and I get what I do is I can't watch the full thing. So what I do is I kind of get the highlight reel per se.
Yeah.
I go and check out the highlights, and I see the big, you know, the big things that happen. I can't sit through the whole thing and do it.
That's okay. That's okay. I've been.
Then again, the same thing goes honestly for Raw. Like, so if I know it's like I'm looking for a certain thing, like what I'll do is I'll record it, I'll fast forward through all the bullshit, and then go to the spots I want to watch, and then keep going.
Gazoo, I'm going to tell you, I've been shitting on AEW for the last 10 months or whatever. I think since it sucked so bad since Punk has left, and I see that they can improve a little bit now. But we're not going to stay on AEW. Give Collision a chance, man. Forget about what the ratings say, because Saturday night's a tough night. But
yeah, I thought Saturday night was going to be a great night for it.
It kind of is. I mean, for the numbers that they're doing for a Saturday night in today's climate, like if you take the ratings away from it and just look at it as a show, it's just so much better than Dynamite. It's like, what's going on here? You know?
Can I tell you what they would do great at? If they did that, if they didn't do these shows on the East Coast and they brought them West Coast so they could come at you at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
I think the ratings,
the East Coast audience.
Yeah,
no one's going to stay up at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night and watch professional wrestling.
What are you talking about? Because
bull crap!
This isn't Saturday Shotgun Saturday Night or whatever the hell it was called.
What about Saturday night's main event?
Well, no, what was it called? Shotgun Saturday.
Shotgun Saturday, and then you had Saturday night's main event.
Saturday night's main event at 11 p.m. though. Saturday
bullshit.
Started at 9 p.m.
It did. It used to start at 11:30 p.m. It would took the place of Saturday Night Live.
It was never at 11:30 p.m.
Yes, it was, Gazoo.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It took the place of Saturday Night Live.
Episode was part of the whole deal, man.
I will bet my life on that. Well, I wouldn't bet my life, but I'm willing to bet on it.
Listen, you're already going to lose $100 to Fingers. You might want.
We're capping out.
Hey, what time do you think Andre took the title off Hogan on Saturday night's main event? 33 million viewers. Happened at past midnight.
Yeah, but that was Hogan and Andre, the two biggest guys.
Oh, God, Hogan and Andre.
Can you do me a favor? Can you wipe your mouth off? Your friggin' food is hanging off your face. Get it off your beard. It's still there. It's still there. Oh my God, Fingers, clean your face.
Multitasking here. Oh, man, it looks like I just got a visit from Peter North.
Yeah, you do.
Gazoo, TNA Impact in the early 2000s, midnight.
All right,
Spike TV.
Are you ready for this one, guys? Hold on.
4 million viewers. Not 4 million. What is it? 4 million was their number. How's that?
Saturday night's main event.
You're hanging yourself, Gazoo. Just let it go.
It was never live. It was taped. It's on at 11:30 at night. It took place of
I watched every one of them as an 17, 18, 19-year-old hammered. Loved it. I mean, I didn't do well with the girls with it because they were like, what the fuck? You watching wrestling?
The Great Gazoo stands corrected. It took place of Saturday Night Live main event reruns.
Yeah.
It was on at
And it ran for
11:30, bro.
90 minutes.
11:30 to 1 a.m., bro.
Okay. Well, anyways, speaking of WWE, can we start talking about the WWE?
Please. Oh, yeah. Talk about the WWE.
Well,
What about it?
lots happened since the last time we all talked.
We talked after
Yep.
Mania. We talked after Mania and Gazoo. We were in lockstep disagreement about the Roman Cody finish, right? You were all for like Cody should have won. I was like, no, he shouldn't have. Now we disagree still because now I think they should have put it on Cody.
And I don't think they should have.
I said we're in total opposite agreement again.
Although I am going to say this. I think if there is ever the prime moment to relinquish Roman Reigns of the belt without in keeping him at the top of the food chain or top of the mountain, it's tomorrow night. Have the money in the bank ladder match winner come in right after they go on the main event. Whatever something happens, he's fucking laid out. Out comes the Money in the Bank winner and capitalizes.
Yeah, it better be LA Knight, baby, because I don't want Logan Paul.
If it was LA Knight, I think it would be great.
You're reaching though, because Vinny will never allow that. He's 40 years old.
The problem is the network has the say in who's champion, I believe, and it won't happen tomorrow night. But it would be it would be the prime place to do it. And in England, when was the last time a world title swapped places in England?
That's why Cody should have been in that Money in the Bank and not fighting Dominic, because
he's fighting Dominic because Brock Lesnar's coming out tomorrow night to set up SummerSlam.
No, I know that. But what reason do we have for Brock attacking Cody? Do we know yet?
Because
Brock went on first.
Good question. Yeah. Probably because, I don't know. Just because the idea is the only way you're going to keep Cody strong is have him go up against guys like Brock Lesnar.
I think Cody's going to die off by WrestleMania 40, bro. That's my opinion.
I don't think so, but I don't think it's going to be Cody and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40.
Why, you see Roman Reigns losing that title before Mania?
I do.
Wow.
I do.
When they gave the new belts, which I like, okay, and
they should have retired the other two instead of Paul Heyman, as I see him right now, still carrying them.
The lineage
of 3 titles,
and it's just like the over 1,000 days is the universal run where you don't want to destroy the lineage of the WWE title.
Yeah, and what I get to is, and I pose a question, and a lot of smart people out there are going to say the same thing. How many title defenses has he had in that 1,000 days versus, say, a Pedro Morales? He hasn't defended
let's say Bob Backlund. What about versus, let's say, Bob Backlund?
I know.
Backlund was every 30 days at least.
Bob Backlund defended that title every Saturday night. The WWE was out there Friday, Saturday, 2-a-days on Sundays, and Backlund was definitely defending the title. If there's 5 shows during the weekend, guaranteed he was defending that title probably 4 times and doing a tag his last time on a Sunday.
Roman's title is getting fraudulent, and it's got to come off him at some point, and it can't.
The problem is here. What I see is this: they're making it to the point where it's almost impossible to pull the belt off of him because I don't know why. Like, personally, myself, I would love to see it be Jey Uso defeating Roman.
Yes, main event Jey.
The only way for that to happen is for this to be all a ploy and have Jimmy really be part of a bloodline. And the gimmick would be, this is how the Usos proved their loyalty. And he always knew Jey wasn't loyal and Jimmy was by having Jimmy set up his brother. It's total. You could do it the whole gimmick because everything they did with Sammy feeds into this. Because remember, Jimmy turned on Sammy immediately and was like, I'm your brother, I'm your this, I'm your blood. That's how they should do it. But they won't do it that way. The only way to beat Roman at this point has to be by surprise. Cody's, unless you plan on doing this whole thing all the way to WrestleMania, then that means Cody has to win the Royal Rumble again.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't, no. It's like, and what reason does he have to go and face Roman at this point?
So then do you see Cody taking Seth's belt?
I don't want to see
No, I don't see Cody with a belt right now. I see Gunther eventually beating Seth, and I see Cody going up against Seth at WrestleMania, which is what's already been rumored. I see them putting Gunther over on Seth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. That's what I see. I don't know.
I want to see Seth. I want to see Cody win Roman's title. I don't want to see him win Seth's. They wrestled 4 times, 3 times, or whatever. It's been done. I want fresh matchups.
I want fresh matchups too. That's why I think Seth versus Gunther would be great. But I mean, you got to do something. It's going to be SummerSlam in 2 months. We're already halfway to Mania.
So
SummerSlam's quicker than that, man. It's like in early August.
Whatever it is, but yeah.
You don't see a long title reigns becoming a trend?
No, I do. I think you're seeing it now with Gunther. You got to see with AJ, with Austin Theory. Yeah, you're probably you won't see it with the tag titles, but I think. Look, what is a long title reign?
Are they going to do? What do you mean? Well, I think title reign should last a year.
What if the person's not getting over with the belt?
Take it off him.
You got to get it off him. That's why I don't think you're going to see LA Knight, because I don't think Vince is sold on LA Knight, which that's pretty obvious considering he wanted to turn him into Max Dupree and make him a fucking manager. And Hunter came in and said, no, you're going back to LA Knight. And it was the best decision ever made. Once again, proving Hunter knows this business and Vince has lost his mind. But the way to do this is to have, this is the only way to do it. Oh, hold on. There's stuff going on right now. Hold on 1 second.
Is that Seth's annoying song?
That's what I love most too. That you can't stand anything of Seth's stuff, which that means it's brilliant. Because I think everything Seth does is brilliance.
It is, but I also think it's time to start evolving away from the Joker character per se, with the laughing and stuff. I love the gimmick. I love what he's doing.
He sounds like Jason when he laughs.
The right stuff.
The fact that you're imitating and mimicking the goddamn fucking New Kids on the Block makes me wonder about you these days.
Well, when you think about his song,
that's not how it goes. It's not how it goes by any stretch of the means. You may want to go bust out your fucking your cassette tape of Hanging Tough. Go pop it in. Go put your Walkmans in. Go take a stroll down the street and take those fucking Walkmans and throw them out.
Hanging Tough.
All right, let's talk about LA Knight.
Yeah,
because it is proof. I think this is proof. You asked me the other night about Hunter. This is proof. Hunter knows the business, and what Hunter has done, almost everything he touches has become gold. And I say almost because nobody's perfect, and let's not talk about Hit Row. But LA Knight, he is probably one of the fastest rising stars, gaining momentum as a face in the crowd. since, I'm glad I said it the other night, he's not him, but he's got the momentum of Stone Cold Steve Austin with the crowd.
He does.
Tell me he doesn't.
Yeah.
He does.
Tell me he
The
doesn't.
vest and him coming out and going, yeah. Let me
It's
know
not
you.
just that. He went from, it took him a very short time to get the fans to cheer for him and loudly in unison and pretty big in a lot of arenas, even as a heel. So he is really kind of that next version of a Stone Cold that is really coming on strong, coming on fast. Would you put the strap on him?
No, in a Continental.
Why?
I like the old school way of the push. I like the old school. You give him an Intercontinental or you give him a United States belt, and then
Did he just go?
I think so. Bob Backlund didn't get that.
Well, I'm saying Bob Backlund didn't get that. Hulk Hogan didn't get that.
No, I know. I'm just saying. But
I'm thinking old school guys here.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan didn't get that. Yokozuna didn't get that.
Backlund should have won the IC title before the WWF title.
Yoko never. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Bret Hart did. Shawn Michaels. Wow, Shawn, but the Undertaker's persona was realistically never. Undertaker's size and persona to me was never intercontinental.
No backtracking, my friend.
Not backtracking. I'm telling you my opinion.
Undertaker's first title reign when he beat Hogan, he was not the Undertaker of the big persona that you're talking about. That didn't happen until after Hogan left the WWE. Let's be honest here. It's called spade a spade. Okay?
What?
Ric Flair never won an IC title before winning.
No, he was the United States heavyweight champion for the NWA.
We're in WWF.
No, we're just talking. I said U.S. title also. I'm going back old school. Yes, I did. I said U.S. title and or Intercontinental. I like old school.
Old school, they did not do that.
I'm just telling. Okay, so you want me to tell you right from my mouth? No, I don't think he's world title material right away.
Why?
I do believe he had.
Ask you why.
Because there's other guys ahead of him that I think deserve the title more than he does.
Who?
Cody Rhodes.
In the dog food, isn't it?
Cody Rhodes is a different program.
Just saying, Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
I think even a guy like a Damian Priest deserves a shot.
You think Damian Priest You think Damian Priest would be more of a champion? All right. So now let's talk. Okay, so that's a great analogy. So I'm going to give you a little scenario here that I want to feed in with.
But I'm going to tell. How about this? No. How about this? I don't see Damian Priest being the type of champion that you look at him being, because right now he's a heel. But if he was I understand that, but I think the WWE, they look at having either one heel or one face, and I think the better, if Damian Priest, if you said, well, what character is Damian Priest would you think makes a better world champion? And I'll be honest with you, I loved him as a babyface.
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Are you going to sit here and tell me, first, let me ask you Fingers first. Question to both of you. I am your promoter, and you guys are my two people, and I tell you flat out, guys, you have to give me one of the two have to be my next champion. It's either LA Knight or Damian Priest. But you have to put the title on the person who's going to put asses in the seats and who's going to sell merchandise. Jimmy Finger, who you put that title on?
LA Knight.
Rumble, you going to tell me that Damian Priest is going to put more asses in the seat and sell more merchandise than LA Knight?
LA Knight, if the
right
champion.
Now,
no, hold on, because you're asking me other people who are in elevated programs above him.
Other than who? Other than
Cody Rhodes. You got Cody. You got
Who else?
main event Jay.
He's in a tag team.
Okay, I don't care. I
can't
believe if
really
you
count
took him
Usos.
out of the Usos, he'd be a moneymaker. I think if they use Ricochet the right way, like they were using him when he first originally came on board.
Ricochet wouldn't get over as the IC champion. Never mind a world champion.
He was getting over back then. I'm just saying,
never gonna be a
with the
world
people that are in front of LA Knight. I don't like NXT World Champion. Yes, right now. WWE or over a Seth Rollins. No, because I think a guy like Finn Balor deserves it more than he does.
Jay, you just said Ricochet.
Yeah, I did.
You really would put a title on Ricochet, or you would think Ricochet is more deserving than LA Knight?
The way that he was booked originally, where they made him into a superhero. Okay, when he was superhero-esque, when he first came into the WWE and the momentum he had, yes.
Jay,
that Ricochet, yes.
Coming in.
No, right now, no. At this moment, with the momentum he has right now, no. But if you gave him the same type of momentum that he came in the WWE with, yes.
No way.
Yep.
No, he doesn't have what it takes to keep the crowd. He doesn't have what it takes to sell merchandise.
Oh, crap.
He does not have the same charisma.
Do you know how long it took for me to get his Ricochet WrestleMania action figure, the one that was the superhero outfit? It took me, it was on, number one, it was a special order. It was a special order WrestleMania figure.
Because they don't make it because nobody wants it.
It took 8 months because it was sold out from collectors.
Jay, collectors buy up everything, and then us peons get the rest. But don't sit there.
Just because you don't like one guy doesn't mean you have to Soviet Union me into having what I believe. And I believe that the way that they originally marketed Ricochet, when he first came in, he had a momentum storm going, okay? And it was killed. I beg to differ. I beg to differ, and I believe his matches are good.
Story or carry a crowd. He sells it in the ring, but once you get him on the mic,
opinions are like assholes, and everybody got one.
He doesn't have charisma. He was like more like when he came in, he was like the WWE version of Will Ospreay.
Thank you. Another one who can't talk in a microphone.
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it, Jay, but in the WWE, you need to be able to carry the crowd.
Okay, so if booked right, I would take Damian Priest on top.
You are nuts, Jay. And that is why I would have to hand you your papers and say, I wish you your best in your future endeavors. Fingers, you are my booker.
I love LA Knight, but I would just not elevate him as my world champion right now.
The charisma, Jay.
He does. He's got great charisma. He does. I liked him when he was in the Indies. I liked him, and I liked him when he was in TNA. I see it a lot. I thought he'd be a really good WWE guy.
He's got size. He's got charisma.
Yep.
And he can get you over to WWE.
I just don't see him as the world champ right now. Year or two down the road, yes.
Which is fine. I agree. That's fine. I was asking you why not now. Not that I would disagree or agree. I'm asking you just why not now.
I don't see anybody, guys. Don't they definitely?
See, that's another guy that I can see being world.
That says now here. I want to point out. We have a comment from a user. I don't know who the user is yet. Randy Orton becomes next champ. I think you meant to say he owns Reigns a receipt. Unfortunately, I totally disagree. I don't think they would drop the strap to give the strap to a returning Randy Orton of Roman Reigns. I could see Seth and Randy in a program again because they had great charisma. But to this user, Reigns and Orton did not have great charisma in the ring.
Yeah, but how about
chemistry?
How about
Chemistry.
this, Gazoo? How about Randy takes it off Roman, and then Cody takes it off Randy? There's your story.
That'd
Yeah.
be a great. Now that would be a great story. That would be a great. The
The last I heard it, Randy Orton, because of the fusion surgery, had doctors were recommended that he doesn't come back.
Randy Orton supposedly coming back in the next month. Supposedly. Then again, so wasn't Bray Wyatt. So who knows? And supposedly Drew McIntyre was gonna. They were trying to get him to show up tomorrow night, but he's not showing up.
I can go on record now as the biggest Bray mark. I don't care anymore.
We know you're the biggest Bray mark. Look at you here.
Same. I thought that was his
care.
Brock Lesnar look.
Oh, no, those are his dreadlocks with his nose ring.
Oh, it's Jerry Leone. All right.
Hey, Jerry.
So all right. So we talked women, we talked men's. Let's transition to the women because.
Oh, can we find out if fucking Charlie fucking won the fucking? She didn't.
No. Bianca Belair got involved in the match and took out both her and Asuka.
I want Asuka and Io.
So I want to transition to the women's side of wrestling right now with the WWE because
it's a mess.
I think they're holding back Rhea Ripley from being probably one of the biggest, strongest Stone Cold Steve Austin version of women in the WWE by keeping her as they quote unquote heel. She's over like a motherfucker. She really is the next, and I think you'd both agree, the next China that we've seen.
Oh, without a doubt.
Right? She's over like a bastard. I think it helps that she's with Dom because they cheer her, boo the shit out of Dom. But I think it's time to get her away from the Judgment Day and on her own. Would you agree?
Her with Dom is entertainment.
It's Eddie with China. It's Eddie with China. It's her with Dom. It's great. But I think you got to get Dom to turn. You want to make Dom even a bigger heel? Have him turn on her. Have Dom turn on her.
Why doesn't it? Everybody knows that in Dom's real life that he's engaged to be married.
And everybody knows that she's with Buddy Murphy. By the way, Buddy Murphy goes from Alexa Bliss to that. I mean, to her. I mean, talk about one side of the windshield washer to the other. But still, so it's
Buddy's on bottom, bro.
Who justifiably do you guys envision giving her the best program that she can have? You got to now, and I say that because you have to kind of take the Raw women's roster. That's who she would have to wrestle. Although I still don't understand how we have two women's world heavyweight champions, one on SmackDown and one on Raw, because they call the belt the same thing.
One's supposed to be undisputed.
No, one's the undisputed. It should be the universe. One's a universal champion and one's the world champion. Yes.
All right. So, do you see her? Would you make her a full-blown face? Number one, and that you have to take in marketing, ticket sales and all that stuff, and and merchandise. And second question is who do you envision really giving her a good, strong program?
She's not on the roster, Gazoo.
Huh?
I don't think there's a person on the roster.
What, to match up with Rhea Ripley?
To give her a really good program, who do you think is on the roster?
I think right now, Asuka or Io Shirai, man.
They're on the wrong show. You can't. They're on SmackDown. So you can't use them. You have to use the Raw people.
If it was 2 years ago, I'd say Ronda.
Shayna Baszler in a tag team.
All right. Well, you asked me who. Take Shayna Baszler.
You really think Shayna Baszler would be strong for a program?
When Shayna Baszler, this is another thing that I go back to when they used Shayna Baszler right down in NXT, man. I really thought that it was going to be hard for them to find someone for her to work with because of how she really made everything she did look really real.
So we got Jeff Ferguson saying either Becky Lynch or Zoe, the new girl Zoe Stark.
I like Zoe Stark. She's really good.
I do, but I think she's too green behind the ears. I think
Worked in Japan. I'll look at these girls that work in Japan, man. They could maybe live crowd WWE style in front of the 14 to 16,000 per night. Yes, but as far as in-ring skills, this girl Zoe can work.
What about now? And Becky Lynch, Becky said it best in her interview the other night in the promo. She said, "I don't need the belt to be over. You do," or "I don't need that belt to be
Becky,
on top."
It's Becky.
You do, and it's right. And I don't want to see Becky in that because I want to see her away from the belt from a while, kind of like how they did with Seth. I'm going to give you a name. She's not in the WWE right now, but she's a former WWE, and I think it would be a great program if she came back. Nia Jax, who's lost massive weight. You could bring her back immediately, kind of associate her with the quote-unquote bloodline. And I think Nia has the size to kind of, make it and keep, to really kind of give her. I mean, Nia could work. She was just, I don't know.
A little reckless.
I'd rather see Shayna Baszler work against Ronda and set them up so they're against her.
Yeah. That would be good.
I would like to, I think right now, and I think thing is, you said it, there's really no one on the roster other than really Becky Lynch, in my opinion, to really be the one, but it's not time for that. And honestly, you can't have Becky face her if you were to turn her face like I think they should. I think they should turn her face because she'd be the top women's, face and, next to Becky. I still think Becky's the most over women's wrestler.
She's in the money. She's in the Money in the Bank, right?
Who, Becky?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the rumor is Trish is actually going to win it.
Yeah.
Really?
Rumor has it Trish wins the Money in the Bank, and it's perfect because you got Zoe Stark in the match. Zoe, I can see stopping Becky from winning it.
Okay.
Io Shirai is, you probably can see something happening with Bailey fucking over Io Shirai somehow, which sets up, the breaking up of Damage Control.
I'm sorry, but I disagree with the Raquel Gonzalez additive. Raquel.
Yeah, I agree too. I disagree.
Raquel Gonzalez needs at least a year or two more of seasoning.
You mean Raquel Rodriguez, whatever the hell her name is? Yeah.
She's still a little green on some of the stuff she does. Yeah. But I would agree, her size, her intimidation, she would definitely be a top contender a year or two down the road. She just needs a little bit more fine-tuning and seasoning.
There is one other person you could essentially do it, but you'd have to do it it would have to be the quote-unquote, what I call the page, take a page out of the page storyline. If you brought up Tiffany Stratton and had Tiffany Stratton go over a quick one night and take the belt off her like how they did that, I'm not saying Tiffany Stratton's ready to be a WWE Raw Women's Champion, but she has a look.
Oh, my God, yes.
She has a look. She's built like her in a way, and she's the perfect, let's be honest. 5'9", jacked, blonde, blue-eyed. I mean, she's the next kind of version of a Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Athletic, big blonde girl who's going to be well off in the WWE. But you could bring her up one night and have her do a challenge and beat her without people like, what the fuck? Type of thing. But not that I would do that. But I think the person might be Nia Jax. If you could ever bring her back, she would give her a great feud.
I'd love to see, too bad she gets in so much trouble, is Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, Tessa would be great. But
Yeah.
Vince won't touch her.
Yep.
They won't touch her with a 10-foot pole.
I know. That's a shame. Dude, she was fighting Sami Callihan. She was fighting dudes.
So I'm going to say this when it comes to women's wrestling. they need to turn Bianca heel.
Yes, agreed.
And they need to turn, with Bianca, they need to turn the Profits heel.
Yes, agreed.
Yep. I think it's time to do some changing around. I think Imperium should be. You could add one more person to Imperium, and they could be like the ultimate the next big heel stable, because Judgment Day is already losing its luster. The fact that they're already teasing a breakup with Damian Priest and Finn Balor, I can almost see Finn Balor. That is where Bray Wyatt should return as the true leader of the Judgment Day. Or Edge. Have Edge go back to it. I don't know. But my thing is they need to start turning people. Turn Ford on Dawkins. Yeah, I think Ford on Dawkins would be all right. But the problem is Dawkins won't, and that's probably I'll do it, but Dawkins won't survive on his own.
I would love to see a Hurt Business 2.0 with it being the Street Profits, Bianca Belair, and Bobby Lashley, managed by MVP.
That you won't see, but you will see a new Hurt. You will see the Hurt Business back together, I think. They're teasing it.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're going to see it because you're going to see it as a threesome. Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley versus, Veer Mahan, whatever the hell his name is.
Why not put Omos in there, man?
In the modern day Maharaj.
What happened to Omos? Where the hell has he been? Where the hell has Omos been?
I think he was. Is he getting married or something? I don't know.
Really?
By the way, his girlfriend doesn't go beyond his waist. I kid you not, they showed a picture of him. He's like this, and she's like this.
I think he'd be a perfect heater for Hurt Business.
He would, but you know what? I think what they want to do is have a face Hurt Business to go up against this Veer Mahan and his character partner there, and what's his name? The modern day Maharaja.
I think a heel black faction would be kind of tough in today's day and age. No,
they were already a heel though.
Yep,
they already were heels,
and they were over.
Speaking of heel black factions, I saw this, and let me ask you guys a question. WWE, greatest heel black faction of all time was the Nation of Domination. Should they be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why? I just ask why. And people are going to say that why, because once you start going down the faction thing, you got to start looking at inducting factions. I ask because of them, only 2 people, well, actually 3, I should say. I take that back. D'Lo and Ahmad Johnson really aren't Hall of Fame material. Let's be honest. Mark Henry, yes. Ron Simmons already is. The Rock, yes, and Farouk already is.
Well, when you put it that way, I don't believe they should get Hall of Fame inductions. I believe when it comes to factions and it not being singled or anything other than being it would have to be a tag team. It can't be 9 guys in a group because you thought they were.
They wouldn't do it. They would go in. They would go in as Hall of Fame. I hear you, Ferguson. I'm just not. I don't think D'Lo. I mean, yes, in the WWE's Hall of Fame, he's probably going in the Hall of Fame.
D'Lo Brown himself, the character, is hugely, to me, is Hall of Fame material. But those are the Nation of Domination should be highlights in that character's career. So with the faction thing, I think factions should get memorialized, but not Hall of Fame.
Problem is, we already have 3 factions in the WWE.
Yeah, that's why to me, Ric Flair shouldn't be a 2-time and they shouldn't be. That just to me that's the dumbest thing ever. You're already in there.
Well, look at X-Pac. X-Pac's a 2-time faction Hall of Famer.
So isn't Kevin Nash a two-timer too, or is Nash
Yeah.
there by himself, or just as NWO?
Two-timer.
Okay, well,
Hey, speaking of,
D'Lo, Darren Draws just passed away.
I was just gonna say, Draws
Yeah.
passed away today. Yeah.
Draws just passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a tough deal, man. I saw potential in him, for
A
sure.
lot of people did. Don't know if he would have made it in the WWE. He to me, if he was wrestling today, he'd be wrestling in AEW with Mox and those guys for sure.
He wasn't that old. He was Jay's age. He was 53.
What? I'm not 53, you cocksucker. I was fucking born in 72. I'm going to be 51 in a couple weeks.
I'm the fucking oldest one in this picture here, and
Absolutely.
And you guys are fucking, and I look younger than the both of you.
Bull crap. That here you can count the 7 fucking beads of fucking burlap up on top of there.
You look like a homeless guy took a shit in a porta potty.
He's talking about you, Jay.
No, I'm talking about you. Jay sounds like a homeless guy taking a shit in a porta potty.
Yeah.
Sounds like the Penguin.
Yeah, the Burgess Meredith version of the Penguin.
I sent Ferguson BBB versus Backlund.
There you go.
Good match, brother.
Jay, do your Woody impression.
My Woody impression.
That's what Ferguson's asking.
Wow, Big Woody.
Hey man, we gotta be back in Jefferson James, man. He's on a journey right now, man.
Yeah, I hope he does well on his journey and earns himself that money and a contract of working at the Nightmare Factory in the United States, and that gives him a way into the AEW doc and elevation and things of that magnitude.
Bring
Good for
him
you.
on. Hopefully he can get Jock's shock stick and start shocking people.
Money in the Bank predictions.
All right. What are the matches?
Lay them out.
Who's winning the women's ladder match?
Becky.
Rumble.
Who's in it?
Trish, Becky, Io Shirai, Bailey. What's her name there? The Zoe.
Yeah.
Zoe Stark, and it's Melina. Not Melina. The Zelina Vega.
All right. So, just by the 4 people that are in there between Bailey, Io, Zoe Stark, and Trish, I can see the formula and the writing on the wall of going definitely with what CaPelli you've been saying the whole time, is that it's being rumored that Trish could take it. So perfect scenario would be, I could see towards the end of say like a girl like Zelina Vega going up top, a person like Io Shirai, Io chick cans her from the top, Bailey and Io go at it, and I can just see, because of the transition between Bailey and Io, they fucked themselves. And then it definitely and Zoe protecting the ladder, so to speak, for Trish to climb and get. So, yes, I can see that scenario of Trish Stratus. And because it's one last time for Trish's hurrah, I could see it happening where she gets the Money in the Bank, she gets the title, she gets the title run, and then all of a sudden Zoe Stark now get sick of playing second fiddle a year down the road, and there's the elevation for Zoe Stark. So in a perfect world, if I was writing going on, I would look at long story. And that's what I'm going with. So I'm
All
going
right,
with Trish.
Fingers?
Who does Trish beat? Asuka?
No, Trish beats Rhea.
How about
I don't see
No,
it.
hold on. I gotta ask. No, just now. Fingers. Your prediction for the match. Who wins?
Becky.
Okay. All right.
who are you going with?
I'm sticking with what I heard. I think it's gonna be Trish.
Okay. I like what you said, and I can see story out of that
Me
long-term
too.
ramifications.
That's why I think it makes perfect sense.
It does.
It does. Why men's Money in the Bank? You have Logan Paul. You have the dude from the LWO. You have
Out.
Ricochet.
Out.
Yep. You have Ricochet. You have Shinsuke Nakamura.
Out.
You have LA Knight.
Out.
You think LA Knight? No.
I want to hear who the next one is.
And then the last entrant is. Hold on. Tell you right now.
Logan Paul.
I already said Logan Paul.
Oh.
There's 7.
Is it Ray?
No, Ray's not in the match.
Bronson?
Nope. Hold on. Tell you right now.
Riddle?
That would have been a good one right there. Riddle ain't getting
It
this
would've been,
dude.
no. So it's Ricochet, Nakamura, LA Knight, Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, Logan Paul.
Butch,
Yep.
Damian Priest, Logan.
Got to be
Yep.
LA
Wow.
Knight. That's my pick. It's the only pick.
I say it's Damian Priest because I think it helps set up the angle where it starts breaking up Judgment Day, because I think Logan Paul and LA Knight are going to start a program. They're already teased it, started it tonight on SmackDown, and I think it's Damian Priest that wins it. Damian Priest wins it, and it starts heat between him and Finn Balor.
Oh yeah, because he could give Finn shit for not winning and beating.
Yep. And Finn gets jealous because now Damian.
Yep, because Damian got it, and he sets him up. I can see Finn setting him up and say, "Don't worry, I'll help you with it." And then he feeds Damian to the wolves. And, yep. Oh yeah. I like that.
So Rumble, you're with Priest on that one then.
All right, so I'm gonna go with an A slot and a B slot. I like the Priest thing, but I also like how you're saying the LA Knight.
Yep.
But
well, I agree with what Ferguson just said too. That's what I think. This is where LA Knight's official face turn happens because it's against Logan Paul.
Yep.
Okay.
But then again, wouldn't it be a WWE thing to do by putting that Money in the Bank briefcase in a social media icon's hands like that of Logan Paul?
You could, but it could happen.
I'm just saying, I can't give you one, but I can give you. I give you my A would definitely be. I like the Damian Priest thing because I believe I can see Priest going because it gives that concept that once again I'll go with the story and we're writing television here. Exactly. So if we're writing 3-4 months of television, I'm thinking if we really do want to break up Judgment Day, this is a great way for it to happen, and you make it to the point where Damian Priest has such a huge ladder match and he's so beat up that he's not able to go out there and help Finn Balor beat Seth. So there's animosity. Yes, so I really do like that as being the A part of it, but I like the LA Knight, and then my one big transitional thing is that the WWE has always been a company that if you think they're gonna go one way, and man, do they take a freaking turn the other way.
They give all the answers, they change the question.
Yeah, so I can see a guy like Logan Paul being on social media with that briefcase everywhere, and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't give you one, but my top one would be if this was DraftKings and there was 7 choices up there, and you told me 1 through 7, list my 7. My top 3 on the way I can see it. That's the way, and that's the way I could go. But yeah, if you're going one, I'm thinking Damian Priest because, like I said, it's another concept on where the story, where storyline and TV concept line up.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask the clown prince himself a little reference to our friend, Mr. Apocalypse. Mr. Jimmy Fingers, baby. Who do you think takes the men's winner?
I got to go LA Knight, man. Yeah.
Okay. I think the next couple are pretty easy to figure out who's going to win. Rollins versus Balor. I think we're all in agreement. Rollins.
Yeah, because I think you're able to write story in there where Balor has him, but you can say Dom took a beating that night. Rhea really can't get involved to a certain extent where it's like
Rhea's not getting involved in that match.
That's what I mean. But even if Rhea did get involved, Seth Rollins has Becky, so Becky's able to come down, and it's been known that Becky is.
No, I don't think you're going to see that.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is say somewhere towards the end, there's the whole bump thing, and you know what I mean, and she gets involved, and like Becky chases her off. I'm not saying Seth is coming to the ring with Becky. No.
But Gazoo, Jay, back to your story with Priest, right? Even if Priest doesn't win Money in the Bank, Priest can somehow come down and in a helping fashion and fuck it up.
Why not? Why not? If he doesn't win it, why can't there be a ladder bump and he's so injured that he's not able to answer the call? Along with Dominic going through a rough match with Cody Rhodes that night, and Judgment Day. I think it should be, if you're going to put riffs and you're going to start to put tears, why not make it everywhere? No one was there for me on Saturday. Where were you, Dom? Where were you, Priest?
Stop with the accent, please. You're
Lucky
killing
Charms. God.
But anyways, listen, to move on quickly, the real way to build that type of an angle is the only way you really got to do that is Finn loses, Priest wins. Finn becomes envious of Priest. All right, next. We have the illustrious match between, hold on, let me pull up the matches here. I think we all agree. Gunther versus Matt Riddle. Gunther is going over.
Woo-hoo. Yes.
Okay.
I love your prep, Gazoo. I like how you come to the table prepared.
You ready? All right. Yep. Now, this one's going to be a little bit of a. I think we're going to see a title change on this one. Rousey Baszler versus Morgan and Rodriguez. I think they give the belt to Morgan and Rodriguez.
Yep, I do too, because I believe that's a horrible tag team, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. Not only is it a horrible tag team, but man, it's two of the most ugliest women I've ever seen.
This is where, they didn't see it, Ferguson agrees. This is also where you're going to see the beginning of the turn of either Ronda or Baszler on each other.
Well, you get that match at SummerSlam, Gazoo.
Yes. So
okay. I was gonna say Baszler and Ronda go over, but not after that scenario.
Okay, now pretty predictable. I've already talked about this. You have Cody versus Dominic. Dominic is going to go over with interference from Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Agreed?
Okay.
Agreed? Are we all agreeing?
Yeah.
100%.
Plus, it really gives Dominic more heat.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that but it gets him a win over a credible person.
Yep.
Okay,
finally. I hated Dom. Dom when he came in. Now look at him. If I had my wish, everybody would be a fucking heel.
Who wins the Bloodline Civil War match?
I think your story earlier in the conversation maybe plays in, Jimmy. Maybe turns there. So Roman and Solo.
So Jeff, we have an Usos from Mr. Ferguson. We have Fingers, you think there might be a turn here in the match?
Yeah, like I follow your story. Like I'm thinking story, like it's like, but soon enough they're gonna bleed this bloodline story dry, and
Okay.
so yeah, I'm gonna go Solo and Roman.
Solo and Roman. Okay. Rumble.
Wow. See, I'm trying to think of somebody to come out and interfere and make the Usos go down. But then again, why wouldn't it be in house and be Jimmy and it's a swerve? So yeah, I like the. And then it just leaves main event Jay all alone.
How about a run in from Jacob Fatu?
Nobody knows who he is yet.
I know.
Yeah, I like the way you're going, Forbes. I'll go with you. I like that. I like the in-house turn.
That's Gazoo's call, man. He made that story.
I like the in-house turn. I like that. Because
I'd
then
love to
again,
see it.
if the Usos were to go over, that means you got Solo again looking weak, taking the pin. Like, you can't let Solo Sikoa is supposed to be this fucking street badass fighter, and now you keep on. And I know that I'm one of the ones that say, oh, wrestling, they don't remember, but you really, now you're making a guy that you're trying to make like Umaga-esque look like a bitch.
But where do you go with the Usos after that? Back to Sammy and KO? No. You make Jay the fucking main event guy, and then Jimmy goes back to the bloodline.
Ferguson, I gotta ask the question: who got outed for no showing a charity show? Roman did. Ferguson put up that something happened. He was just outed for no showing a charity show. He thinks that Roman takes the pin from Jay. Oh, Jacob Fatu. Okay. I think personally, as much as I want to see that angle happen, and I would love to see, I could write that angle perfectly, and I could build Jay Uso to be the next big fucking star. If you gave me a pencil and a fucking book, it ain't gonna happen. I
don't think Roman takes a pin. I don't think Roman Reigns takes a pinfall at all. As great as that sounds, no, I believe you don't see him take his pin until it really happens for something.
Would Roman take a pin if he eats a Samoan spike from Solo?
No, he ain't eating a Samoan spike from Solo. No. It's, if anything, they're going to keep Roman strong. There's no doubt in my mind. I just saw his schedule. I saw a thing where he's actually working the summer and he's actually doing live shows over the summer. Not all, but he's doing some. I don't think you see Solo. I think you see Roman win. The only thing I need to know is what does it set up for SummerSlam?
Jey Uso versus Roman.
I'd love to see that.
With a Jimmy turn. This is your storyline that you
listen. I want it to happen because you know why? Here's the thing: most WWE fans would never see this coming because they just had the big.
All right, maybe Jeff. All right, Jeff. I'm gonna say this right now, you cocksucker. I think you might be onto something.
You got to put Jeff on the show, dude.
Jeff, I'll give you an invitation next week. Or next time we're on. Either next week or the week after.
That way, me and Jeff could be the hair versus the near, and you can take off your hairpiece, and we'll let our hair flow, and you guys be the baldies.
Buddy, there is no hairpiece upon this beautiful head of hair. You're just jealous. All right? I didn't have to have my insurance almost cancel me for going for 6 different appointments for him.
You know what I did notice on that though, Figures? Notice how black his hair was, but how gray his face is. Oh, Jay, are you using hair for men?
No, for some reason.
Are you dyeing your hair?
Nope, for some reason. My beard is all gray, and I got probably the sides. When the sides grow in, you can see a little bit of gray. Other than that,
all right.
Like Polly Walnuts.
All right.
Mike King has to set up a fan next to his face to blow it the other way while he does his beard because it goes right up his nose.
I also heard he has to set up a fan to blow the other way to get rid of all the shit that comes out of his mouth. He starts talking about wrestling.
Oh, he's punching air right now. He's like, clown, you clown.
All right, real quick before we wrap up, Rumble posed me a question the other night when we did from the cheap seats when we were talking sports. But he asked me a question about Triple H. Rumble, I want you to ask that same question to Fingers, and I want to see what Fingers' opinion is.
Thank you, Gazoo, because I did have something to add before we close about your testimony last night. But go ahead.
What was the question I
You asked
posed?
me about how I feel pertaining to pretty much the take of how I thought Hunter's job has been since he took over.
Yeah. How do you feel Hunter's job has been since he's theoretically taken over? But do you see that because of all these posts that go out that the scripts lately have seen more changes now than they have at the beginning of Hunter's reign?
Well, Vince, it's coming up on a year, July 28th, that he stepped down. And within, I don't know, 2 weeks to 3 weeks to a month, we saw immediate change. You saw all the callbacks. You saw stories developing. You saw the Sami Zayn story really take shape under Triple H, okay? And it was clear that Vince had no hand in it, right?
Yep.
And then we get to about Bray comes back also, okay? I think with Vince not being there, helped Bray come back a little bit. I think Triple H was all behind that. And then somewhere around January, when you saw him not being in the weeds and making the sale to Endeavor, guys, we all saw the Raw after Mania. I think Triple H has done a fantastic job. However, how much power does he really have now? So I can't bash him for what's going on now. For anything bad we see, how can we not blame Vince? You know what I mean? It's like I think Triple H has the mind for the business, like Gazoo says, but how much power does he really have now?
Well, I can tell you, like if Gazoo had said earlier about L.A. Knight was a manager, if Vince was truly involved, I don't think a guy like L.A. Knight would be even close to the top.
Yeah, but neither
and
with the Sami Zayn storyline. That
Yeah,
storyline
I
would
know.
not have taken
So-
shape.
I want to point out a couple of things. LA Knight became LA Knight when Vince left and Triple H took over.
Yeah,
Sammy went from being a quote unquote laughing stock to really part of the bloodline and more involved in the stuff that they did with Triple H.
yeah,
Austin Theory once again became Austin Theory. Riddle
Yeah.
became Matt Riddle again.
yeah.
People got their names back.
All except for Pete Dunne.
Agreed. All except for Pete Dunne. I don't know why. They love the Butch thing, but he took the Brawling Brutes and actually made them something where instead of being a trio of nothing, he really turned Sheamus into a low end main eventer. You know what I mean? Taking he's not winning, but I mean, fuck, look at the matches with Gunther, the matches with Drew McIntyre. Fuck, the matches recently that he's had. Sheamus has really come on strong. He's really showcased them.
Sheamus has always been one of the top guys in WWE.
Has, but under Vince, like Vince, once he chewed him up and spit him out, that was it. It felt like, but under Hunter, you came strong. Rhea under Hunter.
But Gazoo, is
Dominic Mysterio under Hunter.
Yeah.
how much?
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of this is Hunter. He's got his, and again, I said this to you, Jay, and Fingers, I think you'll agree. Hunter has the ears and the trust of the boys. He is not a corporate. How do I put this? He's not a corporate content officer. He is a locker room content officer, meaning he's more of a player's coach than he is an organization.
So why do you think there's so much bullcrap coming out about shows being rewritten?
Because Vince does have the right, and it's in the contract. Vince has the final say and has been changing the shows. And as I told you, this past Raw, Nick Khan, SmackDown last Friday got changed. Nick Khan, Vince, Jeremy Borash were pissed, and they had a locker room meeting before it talking about what happened. And
At what point, Gazoo, does Endeavor step in? Are they going to wait a year, two, and be like, "See you later,
the
buddy"?
problem is, listen, Vince is the smartest motherfucker on the planet.
Business
Vince,
wise,
his hands are in Endeavor. There's no way of removing him. The problem with Vince is he is above the business. We've always said in the business, Jay, we've always told workers in Ferguson, I'm sure you've heard, not Ferguson, Fingers, you've probably heard this, and Ferguson, I know you've heard this, but we've often told wrestlers, no one's above the business. Vince, in his eyes, is above the business. In Vince's eyes, he is the business. And that's the problem, because a lot like Bill Belichick, he thinks his way is the right way. And
do you believe Endeavor believes that too, that this is Vince McMahon and we're not going to fuck with them?
Absolutely, because they wouldn't have gone into bed with him if they didn't.
I think it's going to be a short window for Vince. In my opinion, I think
that's right, Ferguson. Wrestling doesn't owe you anything, but with Vince, it's just, I don't know, man. I think I still think to this day, Triple H's days in the WWE are numbered.
Could he go to Tony Khan?
No, won't happen.
Or will he start his own promotion? Or will
I think when Triple H steps down, if he does step down, I think he walks away. I think he steps down and walks away because you're not going to start another business.
Yeah. I think that this company starting is dumb.
The only way he wouldn't start a third company, if he did anything, he would probably likely go work for Tony Khan, but I don't see that happening. I think he'd walk away. He would walk away and ride off into the sunset. But I don't see that happening either. I do think his days are numbered, just I don't know how long.
Why do you believe his days are numbered? Hold on, Fingers. I want to hear this because you got a guy that's in charge. He's a CEO. Why do you think his days are numbered?
Because I think at the end of the day, Vince knows that if he keeps him around, it's going to be bad for business for Vince.
But what's bad for business when people are like people watch?
Because you can't. Hey, I'm going to put it to you this way.
Gotta tie his hands, Gazoo.
You're gonna tie. Exactly. Your hands are going to be tied, and ultimately Vince is going to look at it and say, if you're not going to do things the way I want them done, I'm going to put somebody in there that's going to do things the way I want them done. Because if he's writing a story, if I'm right, all right, so I have you two, right? I write the story, okay? And I say, this is what I want done, okay? Jay is Vince McMahon. You are whatever the dude, Ari, whatever his name is, that owns Endeavor. I say, this is what I want to have done. Okay. And I have the locker room they all trust me. Everyone in that locker room trusts me. And then he goes and changes the script. Okay. Now I have a locker room of pissed off people. And they're coming to me. And I keep writing this stuff, and I'm because of what I write is not what Jay wants, right? You, Fingers, are going to say to Jay, listen, if this guy doesn't give you what you want, you need to get rid of him because the stuff that he's writing initially is generating turmoil because it's not what you want.
What about, so you don't think Endeavor doesn't already know about how the locker room does not like Vince McMahon?
Oh, I'm sure they know, but it's not a problem now. It will be a problem down the line.
Yeah, but
you understand?
What if
have to remove
Ari,
somebody?
prefer what you're doing? What if Ari, want what you want?
Yeah, what if I want what the other guy wants?
You had an opportunity, but you already signed Jay and gave Jay the authority to have over me. So that's too late now. Even though you may like it, you should have put that in the contract when you went into bed with him.
So at what point, Gazoo, do you just say, fuck this, I'm out of here, instead of getting fired? Do you do that?
That's
You're telling me Endeavor has no way of ever removing Vince McMahon.
I think
the only person that's moving Vince McMahon is the owner of Endeavor. The
I could
only
see it
time,
happening,
the only
Jay,
way
in my
Vince
opinion.
leaves is when he steps down and retires.
Vince is going to die in there.
I agree. Vince is going to die in there.
Vince is like all of those aging rock bands that you see out there, like Kiss and fucking Motley Crue, who don't know what to do with themselves, that just are going to die on stage.
Vince is Vince Neil. Doesn't know when to stop singing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. And I honestly, I think that, I mean, I don't see him leaving anytime soon, but it's going to get to a point where his wife is going to say to him, I told you to get away from my father like I did. It's time to get away.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, she left for a reason.
I think Triple H will leave on his own before he gets let go.
I do, but I think the guys love him so much, and he's got Michaels, he's got Jeremy Borash, he's got all the guys that he loves, and Nick Khan. I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Well, here's why, I wouldn't fully rule out, like when Bischoff came over, right? He accepted like a less stressful role, and like.
But Bischoff came as a character. Only.
No, he did, but like there's still guys that Triple H loves over there in AEW. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. And they've already said that what's his face is regretting going over there. The dude that was part of Undisputed there.
Adam Cole?
No, not Adam Cole.
O'Reilly?
O'Reilly.
Yeah, but
really?
O'Reilly, he's not selling tickets, man.
No, but he's regretting it because they're doing nothing with him over there.
Yeah. See, I just think a guy like Triple H could fucking clean up that whole shop because they do have the talent.
Oh, that's what it was. Bobby Fish. That's what it was. Bobby Fish. Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby
That's
Fish.
what I read. It was Bobby Fish.
Bobby
Fish. I'm sorry.
He's an impact.
Anyways, that's what I wanted to see what your opinion was, what you thought too. As I said, I thought he was a tsunami. It has kind of come down to a big wave. But he really was a tsunami, and it was a positive tsunami.
See, I've seen nothing wrong with the product. I thought that their last pay-per-view was really good, a little too long. But I'm looking forward to Money in the Bank.
You gotta really deeply watch the Smack. Like we were supposed to get now. You know the Seth Rollins match that was supposed to happen with the Open Challenge. It was supposed to be Seth Rollins versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Yep. Changed.
And then Vince changed it.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. And Ciampa wasn't happy about it.
Yep. Why does he say he's from Milwaukee?
Ciampa?
Yeah.
From Everett, isn't he?
I don't know.
He doesn't
say
he's
he's from Everett, Mass.
He doesn't say he's
from
Boston.
I think because there was too many at the time people saying they're from Boston.
Carmelo's saying he's from Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because there's really nobody highlighting themselves from Boston
John
anymore.
Cena was from West Newburyport.
Yeah. I think Tommaso does live out in Wisconsin now.
Yeah.
When he went out to the Midwest to train with Harley Race, I believe he moved out there.
And what's her face used to say she was from Fall River?
Who?
Fucking
Sasha Banks?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, Sasha. Yeah.
Sasha Banks used to say she was from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I'm thinking. Never mind. I thought
you got Ciampa, right? You got Gargano. You got Loomis, and you got Indy, right? You could do the DIY thing. Where is Gargano?
He's there.
He'll be back.
Indy's hurt. Don't forget.
Oh, is she? That's right.
Yeah.
She had to give up the title.
I think they're gonna do that. They're already talking about bringing back DIY.
Or is Vince going to look at him and say you're too tiny?
No.
What you'll see if you Vince and
do you think that's why Vince scrapped the Tommaso versus Seth Rollins is because he didn't want?
I think he scrapped. No, he scrapped it because it said, "Oh, it makes more sense to have Finn come out and attack him and do this." Like, I just think it was stupid.
I think when you see Vince starting to infect the product, you'll see the rematch after rematch or the 2-minute matches and just like the
Finn Balor ending on Raw the other night. That was Vince.
From August to December was the best the WWE has been as far as my interest goes in about 10 years, man.
I agree. Alan Arkin died. Holy shit.
Gazoo, I want to compliment you on a couple things here. And Mike King can tell me I'm sniffing your ass. I don't care. Your sports takes are fucking spot on, bro. I didn't disagree with anything you said. I didn't really disagree with anything Jay said either, especially when you talked about the Red Sox. Jay, I now give you a pass to say that you lived through all those lean years and you're a fan, and you watched 20 years of bad baseball because you're a fan. There's nothing wrong with that. But even in our younger days, Gorman, Harrington, whoever was in charge, they just tried a little harder.
Yeah.
I watched Byron Bello last night. This kid's special. This kid could be great. And I was watching the game last night, and you responded to my post. I was pissed, but I was looking at who was the catcher last night. Who was that catcher last night?
I don't
Connor
know. They
Wong,
must
I
have called him up
believe.
from the minor leagues.
Connor Wong.
If you watched him throw his target up, he would drop his target while Bayo was in mid windup. I was like, what the fuck is that? I've done a little pitching in my day, okay?
Yeah, I know.
I need that target up there, man.
Yeah.
And then I was just like,
Yeah.
I was just looking at the whole thing, and I'm like, should they be sellers? Yeah. But do you want Bloom doing it?
No.
He'd probably trade Bayo.
I want Bloom fired right now. I want him fired. I want them to fire Bloom at the All-Star date.
It's
Put
not
an
going to
interim
happen.
GM in there. Put an interim
It's not going to
GM,
happen.
blow it up. It starts.
It's not going to. It's not going to happen.
I know it's not, but that's what they need to do.
Before
Just
anyone,
like Don Sweeney should
They
be
don't need to
fired.
blow. They don't need to blow everything up. They just need to put a
Blow it
GM with
up.
the. They need a GM with the clue.
Hold on, let me get the button. Let me hit it. Blow it up.
hey, before people give credit to Bloom for Bayo, that was a Dombrowski.
That was a Dombrowski. Yes, I'm not giving him any credit.
The other person that needs to go is Don Sweeney because you traded Taylor fucking Hall, and now you're not going to sign Tyler Bertuzzi. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I listened to the whole show, and I didn't disagree with you because I do like Taylor Hall, and he
Me
was,
too.
and he.
I get why they did it, but
If it was to re-sign Tyler Bertuzzi, I'm
Right.
there. I get it, the cap space. But I also agreed with, I don't know which one of you said it, that
I heard.
Hall
Yep,
will go to the Blackhawks and be on the first or second line.
I said that.
Yeah,
Here, it was a luxury to have him on the third line, which made us deep.
absolutely.
Okay?
So I heard today that the Bruins have talked with Bertuzzi, and that there is a discrepancy between years on the contract.
4
The
and 5.
Bruins offered 4. He wants 5.
Then
You give
give
the
him the
kid
5.
5. Are you that fucking stupid? You give the kid 5 years. You give him
You
the
tell
5.
you tell me, are they that stupid? You're
They
talking
are.
about every major sportscaster in Boston's ripping them for what they did at the trade deadline, but
What they didn't do.
or what they did do is he trades away his future the past 2 years.
Oh, I know. Oh, yes. I hear what you mean. But don't get me wrong. Hey, listen, real quick. I have no problem with him making the moves
All
he
in.
did last year. He went all in.
Yep,
They just choked.
yep,
But he
absolutely.
went all in. He went all in, and he
Just
they
like
choked.
just like
And
the
that's what
Celtics, they
That's
choked.
the price you pay when you go all in.
Absolutely.
Problem is you're still sitting on 2 goalies, one of
Yep.
which you should have already traded at the fucking draft.
Would have been nice to get a number 1 draft choice back for Allmark and a player.
The problem is there's a lot of goalies right now available, so you wouldn't have gotten a number 1. You may have gotten a number 2 and a number 3 and maybe a fucking player, but
You gotta trade one for more cap space, right?
Yeah.
listen,
So it's gotta
Listen,
be
I honestly believe when push comes to
oh,
shove,
they just bought out Mike Riley.
Bertuzzi will be in the Boston spoke to be.
I disagree. When we next do our from the cheap seats, I guarantee you I'm going to be saying to you, Jay, I told you he shouldn't have hit free agency because a team is going to come in and blow the doors off this kid. He's one of the most touted free agents in.
He is. Him and the
He's
guy
going
Orlov. I
to
told you
get
that the
an
other
offer.
day that
He's
they
gonna
were
get a
both
huge
ranked number 1 in their respective
Yeah,
positions.
he's going to get a huge
Yeah.
offer. Don't be shocked if that offer comes from the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yep. Why not? Why not?
As
All
they
right,
are
boys.
massive rebuilding.
Hey, did you guys cover the I think I missed this part of it. The Parker extension.
We did briefly.
What does that mean? Does that mean no D-Hop now?
It
No,
means
no, it
we
does.
don't
It
know
means
what-
even more. That's why they did Bentley today too.
Is there any chance of Delvin Cook and D-Hop?
They're
we
saying that's
talked
why.
about that. There is a chance.
They're saying that's why. Look at all these extensions that they've been doing, is to add at least 2 more. They say that it could be, if it's not Cook, looking at adding a good defensive back because of not having the Jones kid come the season.
They still haven't let him go though.
No, they won't let him go. But if something happens and they go to court and say he gets a year in jail,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Do they get cap relief?
that's what I mean. They gotta be
You know
it.
what?
No, they'll get no cap relief for that.
No cap relief.
Nothing.
Would you guys take Zeke as a third-round back for $3 million?
I'd take Zeke as a backup to Ramondre.
Yep, without a doubt.
They're gonna offset. Listen, Ramondre Stevenson has never carried the full load.
Yep, they need another guy in there.
You
And you can't go with unknowns like Pierre Strong and the other couple guys that they have. I'm sorry.
I think Zeke and D-Hop, Zeke and Cook change the game and gives you all saw the 4-year plan talk with Bill, right?
Yeah,
Over the week.
we talked about that.
It's like Mac's going into his third. He's got to give Mac everything that you can give him to succeed.
So then you heard the 4-year talk too of Parcells. His 4th year here. That's the year that Bledsoe went to the Super Bowl.
I do want to point out that the 4-year talk, we didn't get to bring this up, but it was brought up on the radio. Belichick did start something that in 4 years later, a team won a fucking Super Bowl, and that was the Baltimore Ravens. Their first Super Bowl was what he started. There was 6 or 7 players on that team that were starters that Belichick drafted to the Cleveland Browns.
That stuck in
went
his
away.
That
4
sticks in
years
his
later, they won a title.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
all right. So
all right.
we'll make sure that this isn't 4 years later. Boys, it's been great talking wrestling with you. We'll return in a week or two. We'll see how our schedules line up. If we can line up for next week, we will. If not, the week after. And Jeff Ferguson, I will extend an invitation to you the next time to be on this show.
If Ferguson's on here, braids come up, bro.
All right. Are you going to pull your nose rings out too?
Hey, fuck you, Ferguson.
All right, everyone. For Jason Rumble, Jimmy Fingers, and Great Gazoo,
yeah,
we'll see you.